Hey, hey, everybody. Let's see. I think I am working on trying to add my girls. Let's see. Tell me if you guys are getting this. Yay! Hi!
Hello.
So I see people jumping on here. I'm super excited. Ashley, Allison, this is me, Laura. We are going to be talking about gut health. So, um, for those of you that are jumping on, we're going to let some people roll on while Ashley and Allison get themselves set up. And then, Ashley and Allison, go ahead and invite people, let your people know that you're on here live. That's always one of the joys of Instagram. But today we are talking about gut health on a Friday before everybody goes to their summer barbecues, right? So, ladies, I know we said we were going to discuss a couple of things. We are going to talk about like what gut health is, the benefits, and then ways we can improve. I think those are our three topics that we will try to stay on task with, right? Allison, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, girl. Usually you're just like on here, like smiling. Are the kids in the background distracting you?
I'm trying to see how to do the Instagram thing that you just said invite people. I never
I mean, we're just being real and raw. You know, the people on here don't know either, but I think that you can, and like, it'll say Instagram's like, hey, you want to invite your followers, let them know you're live.
Oh,
So
see,
for
mine
those,
never says
Yeah,
that.
oh.
I don't know either. That's why I was looking.
Well, I just sent it to a couple people. Courtney's on. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to real quickly let's tell everybody who they are if it's their first time jumping on live with us. So I'm Laura. I've been in the health and wellness industry for over 25 years as a certified personal trainer and done tons of stuff um, with athletes worldwide, globally, working with brands like PowerPlate, Life Fitness, NASM, XPT, just working to write programming and then overall coaching people on health and wellness. So, Ashley, Allison, I'd love for you each to just give yourself a quick introduction before we get started on our gut health talk.
All right, you want me to go, Allison?
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ashley Duran. I am a wife and a mama to two. I have a toddler and a teen, so I juggle both sides of like mom life. I have been in the fitness industry for over 10 years. I am based here in Southern California. I own and operate a gym with my husband here in Redlands, California. And we really focus and just strive to help our clients now to focus on a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. So yeah, go ahead, Allison.
So I'm Allison Rucci. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a mom of a 1.5-year-old. You will see her, I'm sure. And a 5-year-old that's crazy in the pool right now because we are in Florida and it is like 110 degrees. It is ridiculous. But I have been a personal trainer for probably 5 years now. And just in this space with these women and met them at one of our retreats, and it has been amazing. And Laura has even educated me so much on gut health. So I am super excited for you guys to hear and like even just from each one of us, like our little takes on gut health and everything that comes from your gut, basically.
Awesome. Well, thanks. And you guys that are watching, please pop in any comments, or if you're watching this later on our feeds, again, put the comments in the feed because we will get back to you, we promise. Uh, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in and start with just some of the education. And then anytime you guys feel, called to say something additional, because I know that obviously you, audience, we meet ahead of time and talk about this to prepare a little bit. So we are somewhat organized when we talk on these. But, I say somewhat. I actually have like notes and stuff because I'm such a geek about gut health. We have actually three brains, not just one. I think, we think about the human body and we're like, oh, our brain. Yeah, no, we have three. What does a brain consist of? It means it has to have independent neural circuitry that's sending out messages. It has to store memory, messages, emotion, and communicate subconsciously. So it's like sending those neural pathways. Well, if that's the definition of a brain, this is obviously a brain. But we have our gut, which is a brain, and then we also have our heart, which is a brain. It has neurocircuitry. It stores memory, messages, emotions, and sends out subconscious communications too. So we have three brains, with our gut being kind of our biggest brain. It actually sends out way more information than I think we ever realize. Our gut brain is the same size as a cat's brain. Legit. Like, how crazy is that? So it's doing all those chemical, mechanical, emotional sensing, and you know, people don't realize how much that impacts everything else we do, because our bodies are always fighting between logic versus emotion. We're not thinking machines. We are feeling machines that think. Our bodies react to stress and emotion, and your gut is where that's all happening. And then this is trying to fight that. This is like, no, wait, this is logic. And your gut's like, oh, this is all emotion. So that's why gut health is so incredibly important, because wherever our thought goes, biology goes. And where your breath goes, motion follows. So it's how do people feel about themselves is really going to determine part of their gut health. Like, that's just craziness. So I know you both have worked hard with your own clients on this. And you know, Ashley, it's something you guys specialize at your gym. Allison, you do a lot of one-on-one training and have some great like online programs that you're working with. And that we all three of us agree and are very passionate about nutritional support, because food and nutritional support can really combat a lot of the stress that we have in our environment that sometimes we cannot change. Like, yay, everybody go quit their job and just live their passion. That's not necessarily realistic.
I mean, they really could.
I mean, maybe we'd all be happier if we could figure out a way to make that happen. But sometimes it means that it is a matter of us providing the kind of coaching that they need around like eating their way to a healthier gut and nutritionally supporting that through supplementation. So I think that that's something that we really wanted to focus on today, because gut health is so important to those things, and that our body really is susceptible to all the emotional, spiritual, you know, physiological things that are going on in our environment and in our food. So I'm sure we talked about this, and I'm not sure if you guys know, pop in questions if you think about it, but your gut is responsible for your hormonal release. So when we talk about like the sex hormones and your, you know, metabolic functions, that's really starting in your gut. So sometimes people are like, oh, I can't lose weight because of XYZ. It could simply come down to gut health, period. So the nerves in the gut actually invenerate muscles that I don't want to go too crazy science, but this is where I like start to geek out. But the nerves in your gut invenerate muscles and penetrate the submucosa, which are also a part of your immune system. So again, when we talk about gut and we talk about this craziness that ensued over the last 2.5 years, where we were all literally shut in our houses because we, you know, were afraid of this pandemic happening, it's about strengthening our gut and keeping our gut health, because then our immune will be good. So it's both an emotional and physical power center. It digests, it moves, and it protects. That's how I like to think about the gut. It digests, it moves, and it protects. So we start with gut health. That's really where I start with everything when I talk about coaching. So if you can, you know, focus on that and get your big brain and your little brain working together. Hi, kiddos. She's like, yes, let's get gut health going.
And I know, and just to like a little something, Laura, I know for us too, like as mamas, and now learning more about the gut within the last couple of years, it's really brought that piece out where like we need to also make sure that we're giving our kids something as well. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like obviously their immune system and all the things with going to school. So not just us, but we learn so we can also pass this down. I feel like this is such a huge thing that just has not, you know, it's finally being talked about in the last couple of years, but I'm glad that we're kind of bringing awareness to it as well, because for someone who has also struggled with hormones and adult acne and was kind of like told, well, get on birth control or, gosh, I can't even think. What's the Accutane?
Accutane.
Accutane.
I knew
And
that's what you were going to say.
Because that's exactly where they go when they can't. And no one ever mentions the gut. Like, hey, wait, let's actually try to get to the root of this instead of just like, okay, let's put you on birth control and how about Accutane, which I was absolutely against. And so, yeah, go ahead, continue, Laura. You're such a pro at this, but I absolutely love this subject too. So you just keep going. That's it.
No, again, please just jump in at any time. But you know, it's that thing too where we have moved into society where it's awesome, the technology and how medicine has grown, and there are a lot of things that it has done and really truly improved, but we've gotten to a point now where we have moved to, let's just put a drug on something, put a Band-Aid, put another Band-Aid and another Band-Aid, another Band-Aid, instead of focusing on how about we not get the injury that needs the Band-Aid. Like, how about we treat that? And I love that you pointed out that, because you guys both still have, Ashley, you have one, but Allison, you have two little people. I have big people, so mine are 22 and 19. So of course they're kind of functioning as adults in the world. And so of course we're thinking more about gut health at that point. And they're both athletes, so they're very, very strict about what they eat, and that, because their body is a machine. But we know that little people, this impacts them too. And I'm going to go back to last week's live where I said our bodies are like cars and we should treat them like a Ferrari, not like a piece of crap $500 used car that you bought, because that's our gut. Our gut is our engine. And here we are, we're like, yeah, we can just, put 87 octane and maybe a little water in there too, and never change the oil, and it's going to run just fine. I'm sure it'll absorb all the things it needs to and keep running really well. Like your car doesn't, and you don't do that to your car. If you do, it's going to die. But yet with our bodies, we're like, we can feed our kids chicken nuggets and French fries every day, and they can just suck on a few Go-Gurts, and it'll probably be fine because they're little, and then, just move along. That idea of gut health exists for them too, and obviously I know you two live that. So I'm going to just take a little divergent path here. Do you two do anything specifically with your younger kids? So Ashley, don't talk about the teenager, but your little one, and Allison, same for you, as far as like how they eat, gut health, or any kind of additional nutritional support?
I just actually probably like a month ago started giving Peyton the probiotics.
Okay, so the Modere probiotics, it's like it's like a pixie stick.
Yeah, right.
Literally,
she loves it.
Like a pixie stick.
Yeah. So, and I honestly, I didn't really know if I should or not. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I wasn't sure. I didn't know. And a lot of people were saying, like, she was, like, addicted to sugar and, like, in different things. And, like, that's all she would ever ask for is sugar, sugar, sugar. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, and then, like, you're trying to, like, say no, and you go through fights. And it's just, like, a battle. And honestly, since I've started it, I feel like it's helped her gut. And she doesn't crave that as much.
Okay, so she's not craving sugar as much. Was she having any other issues, or have you noticed any other changes?
No, I did do the probiotic stick every other day to start because I was scared.
She's tiny.
She's tiny, and she's not a very big eater. So I was scared it was going to like back her up, because she doesn't have problems going to the bathroom, but she does complain of stomach pain sometimes, but she hasn't been.
Since you started giving her that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashley,
So
what about you?
Same with us. I give Jade the probiotic stick. She loves it. It tastes like, candy to her. We definitely limit processed foods. We stay away from like the sugary juices and all the things. But I did notice when we went on vacation, so she was fed a lot of different things when we were on our girls trip. And then when we went to Vegas, and she was having some like bathroom issues. And so once we got back on track and I started giving her the probiotic again, she's good. So I definitely noticed a difference there too. And I do have friends and moms where that is a thing with their daughters. It's crazy how it can start at a young age with the constipation and like going to the bathroom with we have daughters, so that's why I'm saying daughters. But yeah, so that's definitely how it's helped her. Keeping their immune strong is huge. She's going to start preschool, and I hear the first year's rough. So we're definitely going to stay on it with the probiotic and just making sure she's getting all of what she needs in her nutrition too.
Okay. Someone popped in the comments. Jen asked how old your guys' little people are, because you guys have younger
So
ones.
yeah, Peyton is 5. She'll be 6 in October. And then Tony is 1.5. I don't give her anything, but
Yeah, Jade's
Peyton,
gonna be 4. And
Okay.
Jade's gonna be 4.
Okay, so a 5 and a 4-year-old doing the probiotic. My kiddos both do, I say kids, they're 19 and 22, so they're actually adults. But they prefer the probiotic too, and I think it's honestly because it's kind of like eating a pixie stick. It's like a little packet that if you guys are wondering what it is, you can certainly ask any of us and we can send you some info. But it's kind of tasty for little people. Like it is for adults too, but even the little people are like, yay! And it does have all of the live microbiome things that we want to have in it that are sourced from clean sources. So a really good use of something package that you could take with you too. That's the
Right.
other thing. It travels really well because they're individual little, they even are packaged like pixie sticks. So,
Right.
um,
and
you know, going,
they taste good.
yeah,
Like
she,
Peyton asked for it in the
okay.
morning. Yeah.
5-year-olds
Yeah.
asking for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. People are giving us comments. You guys check those out.
Yes.
That's really awesome. So going back to just the gut and just giving us more information about the gut and really trying to tie in this idea that obviously, I've mentioned that, and we've talked about immune health, and you guys have said that, especially when you have little people they're going to bring home every disease known to man to you when they go to preschool. So trying to keep them really healthy and preventing them from bringing those home is part of your gut health. And obviously I mentioned that as a part of our metabolic health and can contribute and does contribute to weight loss, but it's about inflammation. We carry a lot of inflammation in the gut, and being able to keep your gut clean, that whole analogy for our car and being able to have a really smooth running car. That's the one I always like to go back to because everybody is pretty familiar with owning a vehicle. And again, 9 times out of 10, you treat your vehicle better than you treat your body. But 80%, listen to this, 80% of the communication in the body is actually upstream. It's not our brain sending it, it's your gut sending it to your brain. 80% of the neurological signals in our body every day are gut to brain. So when we talk about mood and how you're feeling, and if your gut is full of McDonald's cheeseburgers, you're feeling like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Like that's always something I like to point out to my clients too. I'm like, and again, I don't want to, badmouth a certain brand or anything like that. And there are obviously times when I do not eat like super strict, but I can tell you that we all feel it. We all notice it. If you take some time to get rid of that processed stuff and you get your gut healed up and feeling really well, you're going to notice a difference in your energy levels, in your skin. You mentioned adult acne, Ashley. So many people don't realize that inflammation is actually a result of your gut health, and it's literally coming out as inflammation in your skin.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So all of that stuff that's affecting our thoughts, our emotions, our mood, behavior is typically coming from our gut.
Yep.
Let's heal our freaking guts. Then we don't have to go out and just quit our jobs. We can maybe manage our stress a little bit better from the things that are happening in our environment. So the one more thing I do want to say, just because the impact, I think, again, of gut health is so phenomenal and we just don't think about it. But evolutionarily, we've come so far in the last 2,000 years when we think about technology and all the things around us. But we really haven't changed that much in our bodies, even though we're like, oh yes, our bodies have evolved to do X, Y, Z. Not really. Your logical brain can receive all these messages from your gut and just block them and override them over and over. So you might start ignoring the hunger ghrelin metabolic hormone that's released and can lead to eating disorders. You can ignore satiety, leptin, which leads to disorders. All of these things that our brain can actually override, and yet our brain also hasn't evolved to a point where it can tell the difference between a gunshot, like you're being shot at, and the immediate stress that the body would experience in that moment and the feeling of shame. When they studied this, when they did hormonal excretions, saliva tests, and they did brain neurological activity, shame and gunshot are perceived as the exact same thing in our bodies.
Wow.
When you think about stress and the amount, like how many times a day do you experience embarrassment, shame, or some kind of other kind of chronic stress, and your body perceives it as being shot at? You were shot at 20 times today. What? If we thought about things that way, we'd be like, well, no wonder our gut is so messed up and our metabolism is so messed up, and maybe we should pay attention to what's going on down there. So
But
that fight, flight, or freeze, we haven't really evolved. Like a lion is chasing you, or you're embarrassed.
Yeah. And like when I was even on prep, like the stress of prep and me stressing every day, even over the scale and the stupidest stuff, was holding all that inflammation in my body. And my coach was like, you need to stop stressing about it. Like, that is my job. That is why I'm here. And
okay. Yeah. So I want
it was like,
you to elaborate on that. So when you say like holding inflammation, because the three of us know what that means, and we've all kind of said it at some point.
Holding so much like water weight, and like
okay.
I wasn't dropping the weight like he wanted me to, even in a deficient with calories.
Okay. So you were in a deficit with your calories.
Yes.
You were doing a healthy exercise program. You were eating clean.
Yes.
And yet you were holding on to weight that was primarily like water weight and or like chronological stress hormone induced
and
fat
then that also
stores.
had an effect. I think I was holding it too, because then that also had an effect on me going to the bathroom. It was not allowing me to go to the bathroom. And then that was another stress on me.
Okay. So
and
that also causes inflammation and a higher number on the scale and more, it just is.
Inches, obviously. The inches were going down. But everyone, even on here, is so fixed on the scale. Like, I can speak for myself. Even after a show, like, the scale number still gets in your head. I don't care how much you try to not let it. It still happens. So it's super hard, but I'm learning slowly that right now I'm putting all my trust into my coach and stop worrying about it, because I'm like, it's out of my control, and me worrying about it is just doing more damage. So it's like, even the people in everyday life, if you're going to McDonald's, if you're doing all of those things, that's okay on occasions, but every single day, every day for lunch, you're going out to eat, high sodium, all of those things, that's why you feel like crap when you get home. You're not fueling your body, and it's just so much stress on your body. And that also is why the scale number won't go down for so many people.
Yeah, I think, go ahead, Ashley.
And then I had just looked up for, like a statistic today, and I read that 60 to 70 million Americans are affected by digestive diseases. Like, this is a huge topic.
Say that again. How many? How many million?
60 to 70 million Americans are affected by digestive diseases.
Disease. That's not issues. That's actual disease, which means the real number is probably literally everyone that you look at has a digestive problem or issue if 60 to 70 million people have disease. Because we know that the medical field, like the point of disease is not healthy. Like the 20 points before that is not healthy. Optimal health is like way up here and disease is way down here. There's a big gap in the middle that doesn't even feel that great. That's crazy. That's a crazy number. Okay. So we've talked about what exactly, the importance of gut health is and why we should be concerned about it and what it does for us. So like, why focus on gut health? So now we've touched on a few things on how to improve it, trying to eat not processed foods. I think we need to define that. And I say this because my own mom, I remember asking, I'm going to call her out. Oh, I hope she doesn't watch this, honestly. She was, at one point she asked me, she was like, well, is Cool Whip real food? Like, is that processed? And I was like, she grew up on a farm. Like, we have gotten so far removed from where our food comes from that we don't know what food is anymore. And we need to eat real food, stuff that's real. So share a little bit about like what you would, tell someone who has no idea what real food is.
I mean, for me, I just tell them like like chicken, vegetables, fruits, anything that's like not in a can really,
Or a package.
or a package.
Okay.
Like
Not in a can or a package.
like a box. Shop on the outside of the grocery store.
Okay, so what do we say about then all of these fake meats?
Oh, I don't know. Are we really gonna get into this?
Oh, I'm gonna push the buttons a little bit because, I think we need to dive into the fact that we are now crossing this next threshold of, if we it's so confusing. The marketing is so confusing. I think that's the key thing. We can say, okay, not in a package, not in a can, like that's usually means real food. It needs to come that way in nature. If it didn't come that way in nature and something had to be done to it to end up this way, that's not real food.
Yeah.
So
And
there's a lot of
honestly,
marketed real food out there that actually is not real food.
and I know you guys probably the same way, but like we eat a lot of the same stuff because it's like, and everyone's like, I get bored of this. I get bored of this. Well, then just spice it up a little bit or do something different. But there's only so much that's like
Real
now,
food.
I feel like.
Okay, so when you say spice it up, what do you guys do to spice up real food?
I use spices. I mean, I'm very.
I want you to be that. It seems ridiculous to us, but I'm here to tell you that there are people that do not understand that. So spices.
Right. Like lean turkey meat, you can add like some kind of taco seasoning spice,
Yeah.
or it can be like Italian, and you can like switch. So you can switch the flavors to kind of make it
Right.
feel like a different type of meal.
Okay, so I
But
can
the source
go
is-
buy Ortega taco like seasoning and put it in there. Is that what you're saying?
That's. I mean, I need to look. No, I need to look at what I use because I know I don't
Right.
use that one with
Okay.
that.
Right.
But why? So how do you choose when you're at the store, when you're even looking at spice, like the spice area has like what used to be spices, like cinnamon,
Yeah.
oregano.
Right.
Now there's like kicking chicken, blah, 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 blah. And there's stuff in there, lots of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
So
do
first thing
you
is
advise?
I shop at Trader Joe's first thing because they stand by like the non-GMO stuff. Allison, what do you do to make sure that you're not getting like crud in your spices?
I just look at the ingredients.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, it's just the ingredients. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, everyone always is like, you're eating that ground turkey for lunch again today? I'm like, I love it. Yes, I am.
That's what I had for lunch. Literally today.
And I don't even need spices on it. Like, I literally can eat chicken plain in the oven every single night. But my husband and my kids obviously likes changing it up. So, like, I can make ground turkey and eat it all day, every day, plain. And my girls even love it that way. They want my ground turkey and rice for lunch when it's completely plain.
Yeah. I think the difference is that,
Did you hear him?
is that Nick?
Yeah.
You need to shush your mouth back there unless you're getting on this live with us.
I knew I was going to say something because he's always like, you're going to give that to them? And I'm like, they like it. Who cares?
Well, here's the thing. I think, we have, those of us who have been brought up in this processed food culture, it has changed our taste buds. Because if you go and you look, particularly with the ingredient of sugar being added to everything, like I remember reading when, oh gosh, it's been a hot minute, but it was a documentary that came out on McDonald's. And it was this guy like ate McDonald's for a year. It was really, well, but anyway, they talked about the amount of sugar that was in like the bun, the hamburger, the everything, and how, because sugar reacts in the same way and taps the same part of the brain that cocaine does. It's an addiction. It is literally an addiction. It taps the same reward center in the brain. So our taste buds have changed and evolved, and so that's why we think plain, just the word alone, plain food. What did humans eat 2,000 years? They all ate plain food
I agree.
all the time and thrived.
I agree.
So I'm not saying that everybody has to eat plain food, but again, when we're talking about gut, we're talking about reducing inflammation, we're talking about, you can still use spices, you can still do those things. And I think food is one of the number one ways we can tackle that. The second one we mentioned was stress and trying to reduce stress in our lives. So I know it's 3:30 and we're always like, we're going to do this for 30 minutes and then we're going to go over. We're going to go over a little bit. Um, just a little, because I still want you guys to put some things, give some additional information. Um, because I want to talk about how we can support them, not just through food, because you went on vacation. We were on vacation a couple weeks ago together at a retreat. Ashley, you met immediately after that, so yours was extended out even more. And you mentioned like you weren't eating the things you normally would. Sometimes you can only control what you can control. And at some points, you're going to eat things that wouldn't normally be in your diet, or maybe that's just how you're eating. And this is we're going to baby step you away from those foods. In the meantime, though, because I think this is something that people don't consider. In the meantime, we could start on things that start to heal your gut before you even start changing your diet, because let's not lie, that is difficult.
Right.
It is difficult for people to eat well. So let's start talking about the nutritional ways we can support their diet to start healing that while they work on those. So you guys mentioned that you have your younger kids, not the 1-year-old, but yeah, oh good, you went and got it. So this is the stick. You have them on a probiotic that's a little sick, and literally you just eat it dry like a pixie stick. So that's one way. What are some other things that you like to put into your habits with yourself and or your clients that help them to support gut health?
So I do the probiotic pixie sticks as well, but I also do, I know Laura is like, I went and got this too, just so they could see it, so you can talk
Thank
about
you.
it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Allison, you show them. This is what's called the tree biotic. And so I just talked about all the science behind the gut. You can see there's little beadlets, and that's a scoop. You take one a day. Or you may take one every other day, depending on how your body reacts to it. But you can put it in your, breakfast. You can put it in a smoothie. You can put it in, I put it in another supplement product that I take that's a collagen product. So I put it in there, and the collagen is chocolate, and that is like little beadlets. So it's literally like a little Nestle Crunch bar. It's delicious. But it's a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. The gut is a complex thing. We just talked about all the science and how it is literally sending 80% of the communication in your body. Probiotic is great, but we actually have multiple systems. Digestion starts in your mouth with your saliva, and it's going down the esophagus, it's going into your stomach, it's going into the small intestine, and then into the large intestine. There are different environments in each of those that require different bacteria. And to keep your true microbiome, which is the whole living thing, really healthy, that is the way to do it, because you're getting the this first part, the pro, which is like your stomach, small intestine, and the post, large intestine and elimination, really keeping it, preventing things from going awry and keeping it steady. So that tree biotic is something I'm very, very passionate about getting my clients on.
Yeah, same.
Anything else? I know I'm a fan of aloe vera, drinking aloe vera too. Have you guys ever tried that?
I've tried ours. It tastes good. It tastes like ours has a little pear taste to it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can read a lot about aloe vera.
Tell us just a little bit about it. I've never taken it.
So again, as the quicker we can get things in our bloodstream, the more effective they are. So liquid forms of stuff are usually ideal. The one I take is the Modere one, the aloe vera, but I've taken other liquid aloe supplements. And there are a couple of really good ones out there. But again, it's going to address digestive health. And we're talking about like for people who take digestive enzymes, things like that, and maybe you don't want to take a pill. But if you don't mind pills, like aloe vera is another way to kind of help with digestive enzymes, because I'm here to tell you, digestive enzymes, look, Allison's like, boom, clearly you take those. So when I have the moment, you just got the 5-day drop, girl. Gut health, reduced inflammation, yes.
Today, I just got it.
So I don't know about you guys, but I love taking digestive enzymes on vacation in particular, because I usually don't need them. Like I feel my gut health is pretty tight. But I work on it all the time and I eat pretty clean. But if I'm like, we're having pizza tonight. I'm like, and digestive enzymes. It will almost, I say almost because not quite, eliminate the pain that I feel and the inflammation that I feel. It will certainly diminish it because it helps your body to break down all that literally goop and soup that you just put in there because it's a bunch of fake food.
Yep.
Okay.
Or I know, like, for me too, like, I don't know if this has happened on vacation, but sometimes maybe you go like a longer period of time than what you're used to without eating. And then you go to eat and maybe it is like that slice of pizza because you're on vacation. And I feel like that really also is where like that tummy ache and that pain can come in. So that's where I really love those digestive enzymes for both. Like, you just never know whether it's on vacation or whether, you know, our everyday life. But our everyday life, I feel like we're able to, we kind of have that routine. So yes, Laura, going back to vacation, like that's where those digestive enzymes are huge too. So yeah.
And there's,
but I have a question. Do you take the aloe every day?
I actually do. I take a sip in the morning, a sip at lunch, and a sip in the evening.
Okay.
Just to even out. Just again, it just helps to promote healthy microbiome.
Yeah.
In addition to, and it doesn't interfere with other products typically because it's a very mild form of digestive health.
I've seen it, but I've just never taken it, and like that's why I've never really taken digestive enzymes unless I'm on vacation, because I just feel like when we're home we eat pretty good. So it's like,
yeah. You know, and there are some people whose guts are just so, either like if you experience autoimmune disorders or have autoimmune sensitivities, which we know now after COVID that so many people do. Some people need to take digestive enzymes daily. And I actually do take a very mild digestive enzyme daily because in the multivitamin pack that I take, it's a multivitamin, it's an adaptogen, it's an antioxidant, it's an omega complex, and it does include a digestive enzyme that is a slow release. So that's something I take daily in a little sachet. It's called OptiPack. And I really love it. It's another thing that it's critical for me when I prescribe. I don't prescribe. I am a doctor, but not a medical doctor. When I suggest things to my clients, I always suggest, when I'm talking gut health, the prebiotic. That's, you know, number one for gut health. And then if that's not a good fix, maybe the probiotic. Then we talk digestive enzymes. We talk about the OptiPack. And then we usually talk about Life Collagen, Life Liquid BioCell, because our gut is another tissue that has a lot of collagen, and to keep it nice and flexible and young and working well and able to digest and squeeze. That's a very literal, but it has to squeeze things, people. To keep it young, the collagen is important, but there are also some superfoods that are in the Life Liquid Collagen, Liquid BioCell, that focus specifically on gut health. So those are the ones that I usually focus on. Those are the ones I take myself, my family takes, and then I'm working with clients. So I know I said we were going a little over. Okay, let's go last words, last comments. Ashley, last comments for us on gut health.
On gut health. Okay, well, I was just thinking about, because you were talking about what you take, and for me, what really started to help with my gut, and I don't think I can use the word healing, but what really started to help my gut was the Life Collagen, and then I started using the Prebiotic, and that is where I drastically noticed the difference with my adult acne, like I was talking about earlier. And I was still learning about gut health when I started to take this. Like, when I first started to take the collagen, I actually didn't fully, I was taking it for other reasons, not even realizing that this was going to start helping my gut. Then I started taking the Prebiotic, and I noticed that my skin was clearing up. And then obviously OVA, because once I got like the hormonal stuff under control, my skin, if I were to show you guys, which I don't post it on Instagram because, yeah, but
maybe you should.
I think you should.
We'll save that. We'll save that for another live.
Because I had really bad acne too.
Did you really? At what age or when did this happen?
Like 2 years ago, and that's when I went completely gluten and dairy free. That can be a whole different live.
Okay.
Inflammation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Allison, yes, hit us.
huge. And like, that is the one thing I do not wish upon my worst enemy.
Right.
Because that is the worst thing a woman could have, I honestly think. And like, I am starting to break out here, and I know it's probably hormonal, and I am on OVA as well, because I have been on it for probably since the testing round went out. So I've been on it for months and months now, and I absolutely love it. But for me, I'm really excited because I am still learning about my gut and trying to heal it, honestly, and finding the probiotic that works the best. I have been taking the probiotic sticks. I have the Trebiotic. I honestly I've taken it like once or twice, and then I've just stopped, and I don't know why. But I also just started taking Life too for the first time, and I really like it. But I was wondering if the acne maybe is coming from the Life, just like a detox, like coming out.
It could be. I mean, that's certainly something that, you know, if you've dealt with clients before and you're in the process of trying to eliminate things from their diet, that skin is one way that that may surface. So, you know, as with anything, and I'm sure you guys, you know, it's funny when we are talking about ourselves, we kind of forget you have to kind of sustain it for a little bit to see if that's it or if it's something else, because we've got so many factors in our world that it could be affecting that.
Yeah, we can end it with kind of maybe talking about the 5-day drop. I am starting a group on August 7th with a bunch of people. So if anyone joining or anyone watching the replay wants to join with us, just get with the person that you're watching with, and maybe we can do a big group chat or something to keep the accountability going.
Absolutely.
It's just literally 5 products for 5 days, and the accountability is awesome. The guide you get is just like right there in front of you. You don't even have to think. But I'm excited to try it and just try to like maybe reset my gut and see what works and what doesn't work, and just kind of like start fresh, because we all need that, especially with summer ending. Peyton starts school the 10th of August. I'm like, well, right when she starts school, I can just kind of go into a routine then and just figure it out.
Yeah. And that was something we definitely wanted to make sure. I'm glad you brought that up because I had kind of forgotten. But the 5-day drop is kind of a gut reset, a metabolic reset meant to reduce inflammation. So like Allison said, it's 5 days, 5 products. It's not just the nutritional support, you're getting the food. That's the key. You're learning how to eat in a way that's going to reduce that inflammation. So so for Ashley, Allison, myself, you guys that are watching this, whether you came on live or in the replay, let us know, because we're all rolling through this and getting, you know, people, whether it's back to school or it's post barbecue or it's I've got another vacation coming up, and you're just like, I just need my gut to be right. Okay.
Yes.
Next Friday, guess what? We'll be doing another live.
I'm excited.
So stay tuned, everybody. We will let you know in our flyers and in our stories, the 3 of us, what we're going to be talking about next week. And I'm sure it will not just be the topic like normal. It'll be all the shenanigans too.
Yeah.
Yes, so good. So if anyone has questions or wants to join us, just message one of us. We will get you with everything that you need.
All right. Thanks so much,
Bye,
ladies.
guys.
Bye.